A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms isn't like any television that I have watched in years. Welcome back, everyone. We're here to talk about A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, Episode 1, The Hedge Knight. And what an episode it was. There are so many things I want to talk about with what I took in from this show, but it was a lot. I'm not going to deny, I feel like I've had a bit of sensory overload because I feel like every single element of this show, every aspect of it was just done so well. And I'm like, my mind is blown. Before we get into this, I want to know, how do you feel in general about spin-offs? If you have any thoughts on how you feel about Game of Thrones spin-offs specifically, let me know in the comments. We'll start off, I guess, with the acting, which is the thing that I first noticed when I was watching this episode. The way it even opens up as we are greeted to Sir Duncan the Tall is something special, I think. Peter Claffey instantly pulled me in because there's this amazing nuance in his performance where he's able to turn from like just this sincere drama that's very grounded, very real, very sad, tragic, to like just cracking a joke that isn't a joke, but the humor of it is that this character is so sincere in everything that they say that sometimes they just say whatever comes to their mind and it sounds really silly. There is a nuance to this performance and the tone of the show that I feel is done so well. I mean, the writing clearly is supporting everything that I saw in terms of the actor's ability. But I mean, to even be able to perform a script like this, I think as an actor is like, wow. I was looking and Peter Claffey's only been, I think, in a few things so far. So everyone like laser focus, like keep your eyes on him, because I think if his performance in episode 1 is any indicator to the rest of the season, I think he's going to blow up after this because his performance is going to be something divine. That being said, I think that it's also important that we keep an eye on the tone of this show as it goes and kind of see how that goes, because the way that this episode opened, I feel like the tone for this is perfect. And something that I love about this show so far anyways, it's, only episode 1, but is that it feels like, because the tone is so different, because it's this kind of very, like I said, nuanced mishmash of kind of comedy and drama, and because we're with more of the common folk in Westeros, we're kind of getting a perspective that we haven't really seen before. And so I think this show is really good because I feel like as a standalone, it's just amazing and is going to draw you in because the story, the characters are just so interesting. And honestly, a lot of them, well, some of them, our main characters especially, are very likable, which is a little bit different, I would say, as well for Game of Thrones. And that is the thing that I also like about this, because when it comes to that universe, I feel as someone who is an established fan, who is, has been here for years with Game of Thrones, I've read a lot of the books, I watched the show, I've been here since forever, it feels like. This show is so refreshing because it's so unique, it's so different, it's something that we haven't seen before, but it's still true to form. Now, I haven't read the book, but I do want to go and read the book. I know the book is a collection of short stories that are from kind of Westeros that George R.R. Martin has written, and I will say, I think that would be a really, really cool concept for a show, because that concept as a show, you could potentially do different short stories from the book, and each story is like a little mini series. And so you kind of have a little anthology series on your hand. And I actually really love an anthology series. And I think this would be really nice for Game of Thrones, where each season, each mini series essentially could also have its own approach, its own tone, and bring something new to the universe. I think that would be really, really cool. But at the same time, I am still upset with George R.R. Martin for not finishing A Song of Ice and Fire. When are we going to get this book? I'm going to die before we get this book. But it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Because, we have A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, and it really is so delightful, honestly. I'm willing to forgive the misdeeds of the fact that I don't have the final book yet, because something that I love about what we're seeing here, and like I said, I haven't read the book, but considering that this is based on it, is this idea of the expansion of the universe. I know we have that main storyline going, but the expansion of the universe is actually like really fun for me as a fan. So yeah, I'm really enjoying that. I also want to say that this show looks amazing. The sets, the lighting, oh my gosh, the lighting. I mean, it looks gorgeous. It's very well filmed. It's very well presented. It's very well filmed. It's very well made. You know what I'm saying? So all of that aesthetically and just in terms of the way that it grounds you in the environment and how rich the environment feels and these little attentions to details in the background. Like in episode 1, we get to go to an amazing party. It is a big gay Baratheon party, essentially, that Sir Duncan wanders into to get some food because there's just food that's there. And then gets pulled up by the Lord, the Laughing Storm, I believe, Lord Baratheon here. And he just starts questioning him about why he's here and all of this stuff. And then they have like a whole night together where basically Duncan parties with the head of House Baratheon. Which I loved, by the way. It's just also such a totally different vibe. I really liked it. I really think he's a great character. I hope we see more of him, honestly. But at the end of the night, when they're having this conversation, having this really kind of intense conversation, and Duncan's he's asking for advice, the Lord actually gives him pretty decent advice, and they're kind of having this little heart-to-heart. And then at one point, they have this like really big sort of emotional moment that's like feels like a bit of a climax where Duncan's just talking about like his concerns because the stakes are so high. And that's when like Baratheon just taps out and he's like, well, I'm really drunk, so I'm gonna go to bed. And he walks off. And as he walks off, you can see in the background of this conversation everyone else at the party. And it's that like it's 4 a.m. at the party. There's a few stragglers. Everybody's shacking up. Everybody's really messed up. And I could even see it when it was bokeh or blurred. I think it was bokeh that they kind of had it because the focus. And then when the focus changes and we go to the background and now that's the focus, you can clearly see it like even more. It just got enhanced. So I noticed it from the swaying and then they like ramped it up. So even the way they revealed it was comedic to me. What I'm saying is with this show is that it is a work of art and something that I feel like I haven't seen in a while when it comes to television, or I have seen it a little bit sporadically. I think Andor season 2, I didn't do any videos on Andor season 2, but maybe I should. Let me know in the comments if you want that. Andor season 2 is something that when I finished it, I was like, that is amazing because it's a fandom that I love. It's Star Wars, and it's also a work of art. It's a literal work of art. As someone that is an actor, as someone that is a lover of film, that is a cinephile, it is a work of art. So that is something that I love about that show. And this is a show where I'm like, I love Game of Thrones and I love already the kind of cinema of it, but this is even like redefining what I thought was possible, the heights I thought were possible for Game of Thrones as art, because it's just something that feels like challenging in terms of getting all these tonal shifts and it landing. It's just a work of art in the way that it approaches tone, Never mind the performances. This is really, really well done. So as someone that just loves film and loves movies and loves television, it's great. I'm so happy right now. This might be my favorite show of the year. I don't know if that's true. It's very hard for me to say that now. And Fallout is still going on and I'm loving Fallout so much. But even though it is like January 19th right now, I'm recording this late at night after watching the show because I loved it so much. I wanted to get this all out before I went to bed. I'm just so excited about it. Even though it's only January 19th right now at the time of this recording, I feel confident in saying this might be my show of the year. I know proximity, but that's just how I'm feeling right now. Wow, the show is so good. House of the Dragon, who's that? This is just like, I don't know. This is the thing I was missing in the Game of Thrones universe. And I feel like if you're going to do a spin-off, this feels like something that's just unique and fun. It's so fun. Wow. I haven't had fun in a while watching something, I guess. Sometimes when I watch things, I feel like I'm watching it and I'm analyzing it and I'm like losing myself in that as someone that constantly is reviewing, I guess. And so when I watch something and it actually feels really fun, it stands out to me as someone that is constantly analyzing film. Anyways, that's all I really have to say about this. I am very excited for episode 2. I can't wait. I wish I could watch it all right now, honestly. I feel like this show is going to break me in ways that I'm not prepared for, but so be it. If I must suffer also for the art, I will, because I think it's worth it. The pain that I might feel from watching this show is going to be worth the highs. So that's all I have. A show that is set in the Game of Thrones universe that is going to break me in a way that is kind of beautiful for a change. All right. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. And if you have thoughts about this episode, please do share them with me down in the comments below because I want to talk with you about it. I'll see you in the next one. And until then, friends, stay nerdy. Bye. And if you like when I talk about high drama, you can check more of that out over here. Because like I said, this is also a show that I really love right now.